One, two, three, break it down.
That was good.
Check this out. Moment of silence for Hayden. Rest in paradise. We back in business, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. I'm your host, Master Boris. Back on the stream, new internet, new stream. We here. Final. Everything is in order now. Thank y'all for tuning in that's watching this stream. And also, for those that's checking out the VOD later, thank y'all for tuning in and watching it. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. A lot of stuff to cover. I'm going to start out what I did this past weekend. I decided to go to the CEO, see some people that, I haven't not met in a long time. Some gaming friends, some gaming buddies that, we play fighting games. That's part of the FGC. I decided to do that. I didn't compete in no tournaments or anything like that. But I did play some casual. I did make some noise. Whooping some ass. Some old school ass. You understand me? Because I'm about that. I ain't no slaps when it come down to fighting games. You already know. I took no prisoners. You feel me? Especially at Jebailey Land. Shout out to Alex Jebailey, though. It was a great event. Like I said on my post here, it wasn't bad at all. It seemed like pools ran smooth for all the stuff that I was looking at and witnessing, how the scene is and how it is, for the past, 10 years since I've been to CEO. So it was like a circle back moment for me and friends, and seeing that, how this community of Orlando, when it comes down to fighting games, of what it is now, what has become. But great event indeed, man. After that, I'm thinking about going there again and competing this time. Like I said, I just went as a spectator, just want to see things how it is. And, in Orlando, Community Effort Orlando, that's what CEO stands for. I had no problems throughout the event. Met some cool people, seen some familiar faces, top players indeed. I ain't sweat them like that, though. Yeah, because, they might be the ops later on. Because it might be a coming time where I will come over there and give them some can of whoop ass in these fighting games that they play. So, it is what it is. But shout outs to Rome himself, shout outs to Shindosha. I did meet them. I met them. Had conversations with them too, cool people. Like I said, I ain't really sweating nobody like that. It was just me and supporting a friend, which I already did a video about. Because, a lot of these people in the FGC, they think they can't, overcome an obstacle. Whatever your goal is set into when it comes down to competing in fighting games and improving, you just have to overcome it. That's just all to it. You can't just settle for less for yourself. And that was the point of that, that YouTube short I did a couple of days ago when I was over there in Florida. But yeah, it was a very fun event. Nice event. Nice hotel. Shout outs to Rosen Shingle Creek. Doing it big. They're having it again next year. See, Jebailey decided to do it next year at the same place. But not at the same days and time. On Labor Day weekend. Oh my gosh. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. But I am thinking about going again. In my own time. And also competing. But we'll see though. we'll see though, because things might come. There's a lot of stuff I'm plan on traveling to, you know, especially overseas. So subjects, you know, might change. But yeah, man, I had a ball. It was a great event. You know, playing different people in fighting games and different games, and you know, meeting people in different communities, meeting new people, networking and stuff like that. You know, I didn't really do too much. I really pretty much stayed in the venue. I didn't go all outside like I was in Houston. You know, and someone asked, one of my friends asked me, that's in the UV gym, like, what do you like better? You know, for you know this summer vacation, was it Houston or Orlando? Houston by miles, bro. Houston by miles. Okay, DreamCon, bro. I think that's one of those events I'm gonna go to every year. But they need to hurry up and release the dates of next year. But anyway, yeah. Pretty much observing most of the time the competition. You know, I still say the FGC, US FGC needs some work to do. Needs a lot more work to do. We got a lot more work to do. And as I've, you know, explained that, you know, in videos before, and I make fun of FGC every chance I get, because some of the people that's in the community are just dumb. And they want beef for no reason. And you got some people that's in the scene that are pathological liars. I can't even talk today. Pathological liars, and they just want another player to not be a part of the scene or get banned in tournaments because they can't beat them. That's what's really going on right now. You know, I was wondering, because me and my friend Antonio, we had a conversation last night. I was wondering if infiltration wasn't banned in the FGC, like, he will probably be the best top players we got today. You know, because infiltration, he was beating people in almost every other fighting game. Okay? You know what I'm saying? He was before, you know, Sonic Fox. But then again, Sonic Fox be playing the fighting games that doesn't have a huge player base. But anyway, you know, stuff like that. A lot of players got, you know, falsely accused, or, you know, they just get banned in infiltration case. It had nothing to do with the FGC. And he's been exonerated for whatever he was, you know, going through and going to trial for. But he still can't compete in tournaments. I think Filipino Champ got banned for that watermelon joke or whatever, or it was something else. I don't know. Like I said, I have not been keeping up with the FGC scene like that for real, like consistently since 2018. Okay, since 2018. You know, because there was just times like, you know, what, like, that happened, this happened. She did this and all this and all this drama and all this going on, and who beat who in the tournament, and, you know, all of that. I mean, I do watch Button Check from time to time, every blue moon, you know, to see what's going on with the FGC in America. And that's another guy I gotta pick on him. Ernesto Lopez, the Button Check dude. If you are watching this, which probably you're never going to see this, you know, stream, but do your homework, okay? Do your homework. There'll be times I'll be watching your videos, Button Check. Like, you just can't, like, you talking like you just came into the FGC last year. I know you were 09. I know you were a Street Fighter 4 player back in the day. I know you were. You slash comedian. So I'm like, there's a lot of information that is facts, not opinion or false narratives that you might be listening to guys as part of the scene creating false narratives about certain history of fighting games or tournaments. No, there is factual information about the scene that you're, you know, what you talk about, which you, someone told me he's the Wendy Williams of the FGC. forgot who said that. Yeah, the Bud Check dude, he's the Wendy Williams of the FGC. He posting topics and posting, news about what's going on in the scene and what players doing this and that, and doesn't really add anything to the conversation most of the time. But I mean, we need something like that, because who's doing it? But you got your friend who you do a podcast with. I think his name is Dirty Low. Seem like he has more knowledge than you about the scene than you do. You looking like a rookie out here. You looking like you talking like you just came to the FGC last year, bro. Please do your homework, Ernesto Lopez. Please do your homework. Like, look up factual stuff to talk about and add something to it. Or ask me, because I know about the scene, because I'm from back in the day. You know what I mean? I was a kid prodigy. But, I didn't know about this whole FGC stuff until 2007, 2008. I grew up in arcades playing, games competitively. But, yeah, man, just do your homework, man. Like, come on, man. You gotta know some stuff about the fighting game history of things, man. But yeah, that's enough for me picking on Button Chat. But yeah, CEO was great. Like, it was really no problems that I had or anybody else, because everybody was cool. People, the Virtua Fighter community, and I was also teaching. Well, kind of like letting them know, like, hey, you can do this and do that in Virtua Fighter and stuff like that, playing in casuals and doing that. It was so great to be able to do that and to be able to play offline. And a lot of these people in the FGC is realizing that as they were at CEO, like, oh my God, offline, this is great. Yes, please go outside and touch grass more. You will learn something, okay? This online stuff that y'all talking about, this bullshit ass rollback y'all talking about, bump all that. You need to go offline and beat some ass, whoever you got beef with or whoever you want to beat in a tournament, and just do that. This online stuff ain't what it cracked out to be. Y'all been so spoiled about this freaking online. Y'all want to get out the house and do anything. But glad you finally got out of the house due to CEO being there this past weekend, and now you realize it's something greater than online. Offline was always going to be where it's at, and always will be. Okay? So get your ass up and support your scene. I don't know how the Orlando scene, locally, but major tournaments like CEO or, monthlies or whatever, do that. Okay? And that goes for anybody. Not just Florida. You from New York, you from Maryland, you from, Illinois, Michigan, Georgia, ATL, Texas, Dallas, Houston, LA, California, Sacramento, San Francisco. Support your scenes. Because some states don't have, a scene where it's fighting game based, including mine. It's been like that since 2005. I mean, the closest thing we probably have a scene in fighting games is Smash Brothers over here in South Carolina. Other than that, it's all about NBA 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. Like they're not, people ain't playing fighting games like that. North Carolina got a fighting game scene. I know that for sure. But yeah, support your scenes in your area today. Okay? And I'm glad that this tournament opened a lot of eyes for a lot of players, a lot of people that play fighting games. So yeah, got that going on, realizing, the grass is greener this time. But on this greener grass, on this field, you can improve your skills in. Play with different people. I mean, it was packed this past weekend at CEO. You know, there is no excuse for you to not get any casuals in, or, you know, if you out of the tournament you competed and you probably went 0-2. Sorry, you know. It happens, bro. It happens. But you can't go 0-2 again. Tell yourself that you can't go 0-2 again. You gonna make it out of pools and win. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people that got out of pools. They got top 24, top 8, top 4. You know, the last tournament I went to, and this was unintentional because my best friend, well, my ex-best friend that I no longer talk to, he wanted me to go to the Smash Brothers Ultimate Tournament, and I got 4th place without no practice. I think I uploaded a video. I probably didn't. I still got that on my phone, all the matches I've done that he recorded and his, girlfriend recorded. But yeah, man, you just you just gotta do it. You just gotta, if you want to be the best you can be, and that's the problem with USA FGC, man. It's just that y'all want to have moments, but y'all don't want to win. Y'all don't want to be the best at anything, or y'all don't want to be a character specialist. That's the problem in the FGC too, that we need to fix. Give somebody to look forward to, that's probably watching. Or, for example, Tokido won Street Fighter 6, beating Bruce Lee, which Bruce Lee, let me tell you something about him, man, because I was watching that grand finals. When Tokido reset the bracket, because he was in the loser side, I went back to my room. I was like, Tokido won. Because he had momentum. Tokido is going to win Street Fighter 4 grand finals. I went back to my hotel and ate my pizza and watched it on stream, even though I was literally upstairs from the actual event taking place. And, I was right. Tokido won. Bruce Lee gave up. He literally put the controller down. I think he thought Tokido was going to do level 2, but he did level 3. Which, that's not what Tokido was doing was not a true block stream. Like, Bruce Lee could have, I don't know, did Buster Wolf with Terry again, because he did it before. But he gave up. Bruce Lee gave up. I almost witnessed a USA player that has a huge player base, which is Street Fighter 6 currently, right now, that was going to beat Japan. I almost witnessed that, and I was actually there. I was actually there. I saw it. He was close. But he I don't know what's up with these players that keep they wants to not keep their foot on the gas when they have momentum. I don't know what's the problem. A lot of these new kids, these Japanese players are doing that too. Like Higuchi, he's just not confident. Higuchi is not confident, man, of winning. And a lot of these new kids that are Japanese, they're not confident. They need something like Daigo need to whoop him into shape, man. Or Tokido or Mago, Momochi. Y'all supposed to be passing the torch for these new bloods. And that goes for, well, like I said about my country, but it really boils down to a societal thing. It really boils down to a societal thing and how people act and how people are behaving and having certain mindsets where they just don't have the drive. Like guys like me or guys that came before me. I don't know what it is. Like they just these kids today, these new cats today don't have the drive to win. It's just, oh, I'm going to settle for just qualifying for Capcom. No, win the whole thing. Take no prisoners. It's what my dad taught me when I was in single digits. Okay? But yeah, Boost League could have had, like that. Listen, if I'm in winner's side, man, I would feel ashamed to let my opponent come back and reset the bracket and win the tournament. I'd rather be placed top 64 if I know that was gonna happen to me at grand finals. It'll be the worst feeling ever for me personally. I'm in winner side. My opponent's on loser side. He beats me in a set, resets the bracket. Now it's losers, and he takes the cup. He takes the gold. Man, I would feel terrible if that happened to me. Like I let myself down and everybody else that's cheering on me, that's cheering for me down. Like, really? There's no way you're coming back when I'm in the winner side in grand finals. There's no way. If that happens, you must be the better player, or you're not the better player and you got off easy with these Fisher Price combos. And that's the thing about Street Fighter 6. Like, competitively, that game is suspect. It's a fun game. I like Street Fighter 6, but it's competitively it's suspect. I'm like 50-50 with it. I don't like it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? Casually, it's great. It's great for the casual audience, but competitive wise, no. It's. But yeah, that's my thoughts on CEO 2026. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I want to go over there next year again. Yeah, and compete this time. But yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. Now, if Virtua Fighter Crossroads come out, I'm definitely going. I got tunnel vision for that game, man. Yeah, that's my most anticipated game as of today. That and Trails in the Sky Second Chapter Remake that's coming out, I think, next month I think next month. So yeah, man. And I'm glad that Shadosha told me that, hey, you picked a great time to get back into Virtua Fighter. Because I told him, like, my background, the short story of my background. Because, I was mostly a Tekken player for the most part. And then my second game that I played countless hours of is Smash Brothers. And Soul Calibur, Bloody War games, Dead or Alive, and then Virtua Fighter. In that order. But get into Virtua Fighter and try to be adequate in that and do great in that with, Revo World Stage. And I need to play the older ones too, the older Virtua Fighters, because, the people that develop in Crossroads, they're saying that they're looking in the middle of Virtua Fighter 3 and 4. Because, I remember reading in the article that said they find that Virtua Fighter 4 and 5 uncool, so they're going to try to look at the foundation of the first game, second game, and third game, and based on the game like that, I don't have no problem with the new combo staggering system. I really don't. I kind of don't like the beach volleyball effect that Virtua Fighter 5 has, because that game has been dumbed down. Virtua Fighter has been dumbed down, but it's still really hard and challenging to master and play. But VF5 is the most dumbed down Virtua Fighter. I see a lot of, guys that's in this Virtua Fighter space, that's in the community, they're mad about how Crossroad Combo's gonna be. Me, I'm indifferent. Like I'm gonna take it like, hey, I don't need all these juggles. I mean, if you want a fighting game with juggles, just play Tekken. Play Tekken 8. Okay? If you want just juggles. Because that's what VF5 was trying to go by, like doing what Tekken 6 was doing at the time. You know? But, yeah. Oh, shoot. Let me look at the chat. I am so sorry. But yeah, that's about it. About my journey of CEO. Well, because, you know, I post all that stuff on Instagram and on here too with the short. I didn't really do anything. But watching, you know, gaming, you know, buddies of mine that play fighting games with me and seeing all the other players play. And doing what I do in Jabali land, playing all the old school joints and whipping ass on that mostly. Yeah. I wanted to go on here real quick. Let's see. Go on here. Oh, because I want to talk about something strange. You know, I did watch the Kingdom Hearts 25th anniversary panel, and they was talking about Kingdom Hearts 4. That's my phone. It was a good panel. I still don't really like how the game look. That's that Unreal Engine stuff. I don't really like how the game looks. You know what I mean? I can't find the panel. I guess they have it unlisted, but I come across this streamer here that's reacting to it, and I want to point something out here. You see Haley Jolie Osment and David Gallagher doing a scene of one of the final scenes in Kingdom Hearts 2. And I find it very strange they picked this particular scene to do like a voice acting, you know, session, because it has been said that they never recorded a voice acting session together. They was always alone, which I think that's kind of, you know, really challenging to do. Like you don't know like their expression of what the other, you know, actor is saying, or you just going by, you know, you have to find the nuances, you know, especially you overdubbing the Japanese audio and how their mouths move, because that's also been said too. But I want to like point this out, like this particular scene where Sora and Riku beat Xehanort, you know, the final bosses of Kingdom Hearts 2, right? That boss fight was crazy. But anyway, it's not the point. The point is this.
A glimmer of light appears ahead.
Riku, look. What's that light?
They enter the light. The two find themselves at the dark margin, the edges of the realm of darkness, near a shore overlooking an endless sea.
Why am I sobbing?
End of the road. Yep. Put me down. I can walk.
Sora walks up to the water and looks around.
Shout out to Cleo Thomas, by the way.
Maybe the darkness has gotten to me too.
He hears a thump behind and turns. Riku has collapsed to the ground.
Riku!
Sora runs to Riku.
This world is perfect for me. If this is what the world really is, just this, then maybe I should fade back into darkness. Riku, if the world is made of light and darkness,
Sora sits
will
up
be
and
the
smiles.
darkness.
They messed up there, but
Yeah. The other side.
it's this particular
There's one
scene, right?
advantage to be.
Sora stands up and reaches down.
We'll go together. Or maybe it's already begun. We'll blend.
Kyrie's voices blend together.
I get.
He grabs
I
it,
went too far. I went too far.
takes out the letter inside,
This is what I want to
and
point
gives it a
out.
glance.
Sora,
Hmm?
I think it's for you.
We hear the text of the letter read out loud. Sora and Kyrie's voices blend together. Today, we'll leave it to Sora.
Thinking of you, wherever you are.
That's my.
We pray for our sorrows to end and hope that our hearts will blend. Now I will step forward to realize this wish. And who knows? Starting a new journey may not be so hard. Or maybe it's already begun. There are many worlds, but they share the same sky. One sky, one destiny.
A door of light starts to open up before them.
Light.
The door to light.
Sora stands up and reaches down.
We'll go together.
Riku takes his hand.
Yeah.
Oh my god! That like healed something
So-
in your child. I don't know.
So, what I'm getting at is, why did they pick that particular scene? And, you know, that was the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2, or part of it, and this came up. So the next morning, Hayden Panettiere passes away. You don't have to tell me that it was foul play. I know it was. This is very strange. And she wasn't even there at the Kingdom Hearts 25th anniversary. Like, something up. Like, the timing of it and what I was playing there, what happened at the panel, it was like they was telling Hayden goodbye. That's what it seemed like. It's like they knew she was going to pass away. Or maybe I'm tripping. But this, you know, tragedy and all the stuff that she been through, I didn't even know she was trafficked when she was 18 years old. I didn't even know she was going through all that dark. I'm telling you, we're not mad enough when it comes down to Hollywood. Well, I am. I can only, you know, speak for me, but I could also say that people are not mad enough against Hollywood. This stuff is going on and on and on, like to the point where people are numb to this type of stuff when they hear stuff like this. And shout out to Black Balloon for covering this, you know, Hayden Panettiere's death. I'm gonna play some of it. Let me see what you guys say.
I have no idea, but these are some of the pictures of the.
But the crazy part is, she passed away in Greenville, South Carolina. I didn't even know she lived in Greenville. That's crazy. That's my home. Man. So they trying to say she had an accidental overdose and whatnot, and I'm just like, bullcrap. She was offed. You know. She, you know, I don't know if she came out with a book or she was coming out with a book trying to, was going to expose, you know, these Hollywood executives that be human trafficking girls, just like how she was, just like, you know, her parents, you know, sold her out and pretty much made Hayden and her brother, who also passed away 3 years ago, sacrifice. It's a wicked world, man. Like, being a celebrity, to me, it has been less appealing day after day after day. A lot of these people that has all the money in the world and has the world and is living in the world, being, you know, of this world and not looking at God for guidance because they think money is everything. They're not happy. They have demons within them. They're stuck. Just because you have fame and fortune doesn't mean that these people are happy. And I'm seeing like old Hayden Panettiere clips on my recommendation after she passed, which I just find that weird. You know, they would show me all this, and she was not happy. She was going through really dark stuff in her life. I had no idea. And you know, in the black community, man, they really upset about Hayden's death, man. We rocked for her. I know I did. I can only speak for myself, but I know some people that are fans of her work, her movies that she done. Kingdom Hearts, you know, she was the voice actress of Kyrie. We walked with her, heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a tragedy indeed, and you know, in her case, she broke the oath. You know, once you get in and you sign your name in contracts, probably in blood, you can't break that oath. You belong to the world now. Like, it's crazy about these entertainers, these celebrities, man, and what they do. You know? But she was a child. She was a child. She was a Disney child star. Her parents put up to her to this. I can't even talk today. Her parents put her up to this. Sold her own daughter out. But yeah.
Fire trucks and the ambulance that allegedly responded to the residence of her death. So they were parked outside where Hayden took her last breaths. Law enforcement told sources from TMZ that her body was found Sunday inside an apartment by a friend, who then called 911 to report that the actress was unresponsive and in cardiac arrest. Now, they do have a very on and off 911 call. It's really pretty much just a bunch of bleeps. I could play it really quick.
Okay, everyone, instant yourself for cardiac arrest. This is Milwaukee.
Cardiac arrest, they said.
Everyone, instant yourself for cardiac arrest. Just in Milwaukee.
What the heck?
Mr. 1, minute 29, responding.
And not only that, I found out both her and her brother took the COVID jab. And you know, not now, a lot of people are exposing that this COVID shot jab was a farce. Like I said in the beginning, since 2020, 2021. but people were vilifying me because I wouldn't take the jab. Now, most of those people that try to vilify me and say I don't deserve to live, they're probably not even here on this earth anymore because they passed away due to, you know, difficulties with their bodies after they took the jab. I know some people that passed away due to COVID jabs. But yeah.
Unrequested medic 29. Overdose. CPR is in progress.
They're saying overdose. Accidental
Alright,
overdose.
as you could hear, just a bunch of bleeps. Can't really make up from it. Can't really make out
Dang,
too
her
much from it.
birthday is on the
People are not sure
21st.
if her on and off boyfriend was the
Dang.
caller to 911. Allegedly, she may have went with him to
Dang.
Greenville, South Carolina. No idea what is actually going on as far
Died
as
5 days
why
before
she
her
was
birthday,
there,
man.
right? So we'll get into the first clip now. The video. Now this already starts with hella symbolism, numerology, like I said already. We're gonna get into some more stuff as well because when I went to her Instagram page, I found some things that were very, very interesting. Now this also brings up things that
Oh, she already came out
you
with the
know,
book. Okay.
goes a little bit deeper into the industry because she just dropped her book titled This Is Me, A Reckoning. This came out May 19, 2026, so this was 3 months ago. 320-page book, and it explores her life as a child star, her roles in Heroes in Nashville, and deeply personal life quakes, including addiction, postpartum depression, domestic you-know-what, and the loss of her brother. Now, also, this brings about the interview that she did where she was talking about how, you know, someone who was very famous when she was 18 years old exposed themselves to her when she was brought down to a room by someone who she thought she trusted and was like a protector in her life. And he basically tried to set her up for one of those Hollywood sex rituals. Now, let's check out some clips, y'all.
We now know that Hayden Panettiere was found unresponsive in Greenville, South Carolina, and her death is now being investigated. Police were called to an incident involving an unresponsive woman. That woman was Hayden Panettiere. This is the most current known timeline starting from Saturday, August 15th, the day before she passed away. On Saturday, Hayden left Los Angeles on a flight with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson. At the time, sources would only say that the two were traveling somewhere to the south, but we now know that Hayden ended up in Greenville, South Carolina. According to Greenville Police, at exactly 1:51 p.m. Sunday, August 16th, police officers and EMS personnel were dispatched to Judson Mill Lofts on Easley Bridge Road in Greenville. Again, the call was specifically for a report of an unresponsive woman, and that woman was Hayden. Hayden's publicist, Casey Kitchen, also confirmed this by saying there's an investigation ongoing. We should know more tomorrow. There's also a source close to Hayden that said she had been complaining about back pain during the past year. However, there is no indication that that's connected. Hayden's father did confirm her death and called his daughter an incredible light and a force of nature. Hayden's death comes just months after her release of her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, where she talks about everything I realized that I was in danger, but by the time I realized I was in danger, I was quite literally out to sea. And it was that moment shook me. It was shocking, and I was quite literally walked down, and I had been having a great time. There was no hints of anything like that happening, so it took me, I was shocked. It took me by surprise, and it was led by somebody that I had grown to trust and see as a protector and somebody who had my back.
Yeah, man, this is a wicked industry, bro. I'm not with this at all, man. It doesn't sit right with my spirit. I'm serious, guys. Like, bump being famous, bro. Like, for real. Like, it's getting less appealing to me by the minute. Keep hearing stories about men and women that are in this industry, this part of the machine, and they end up mysteriously dying because with these people that controls the industry, you worth more dead than you are alive. Like, just name a few of these celebrities that we know. This is tragic, man, but God bless her soul, man.
And to be walked down, down the stairs, and it was as like a surprise, presented as though it was like a surprise, and it was this very small room, and she physically put me in the bed next to this undressed man who was very famous, and had his hands like this, like this was just, an average day for him. This is something that happens all the time. And
I wonder who's the man that did that to her. Who is this man that she speaks of? I wonder who that is. Very famous, she said. Probably have a reputation of being has such a clean image, you wouldn't even suspect a thing about this guy. But little do we know, he probably has more skeletons in the closet. Man. And it could be some fellow actors and actresses too. Also, entertainers that do this because they put some of these, people are put in position as gatekeepers for other actors to come in and be part of the club. It's always been about clubs. You were groomed to know that while you was growing up going to school. There's always a club. And there's always going to be a club when you get out of school, when you go to college, these fraternities and all that stuff. And there's also a club when it comes down to, the music industry, the movie industry, entertainment industry, modeling industry, all the above. There's always a club. There's always a clique. And you have to join if you want to make a lot of money and you want to be part of the machine. You want to be a plant in the industry. And a lot of these people that are celebrities are selling themselves short because they're willing to do anything to get by in the industry, but the rewards is not adding up. Some of them will come out short. And then you don't hear from them. You don't hear from them anymore. But yeah, let's ride out.
We did for her to leave, and I mean that line in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide, and I bolted, and I hid wherever I could think of to hide on a boat. There was no jumping off and swimming away, and there was nobody who was going to. I realized that there was nobody who was going to be empathetic to my situation, that this was nothing new to them.
Now that's what it was. It happened on a boat. So obviously that's already a trap in itself. If you somewhere in the middle of the ocean,
right,
far away from the dock, far away from the shore, you have nowhere to go.
Or an airplane.
You're 18 years old. What you gonna do? Jump off the boat and swim? It's insane. She said the guy was sitting here like this. said like this ain't nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And we don't even
Now
know who
she
he
never,
is.
obviously this is almost 20 years ago from her. She never said a name. People talk about the lady Diana Jenkins or Charlie Sheen. I mean, they talk about a lot of people. Diana Jenkins is the name I see who gets brought up in this the most, and that she was the one who led her down there because she was kind of allegedly like this, madame in Hollywood at that time, and she was involved in, allegedly involved in some trafficking stuff. We'll say allegedly, because we don't know it to be true, but this was something she, was starting to talk about just recently. If I'm not mistaken, the podcast she did where she was talking about this, I think it's like the On Purpose podcast or something. This was basically in promotion of her new book. So I think this podcast also happened back in May of this year, before she released that new book. So the timing from her book being released just 3 months ago to her death is obviously the most, because they were basically like twins. He said her brother was her other half, like a real deal sister-brother relationship, and that pretty much broke her. And I have a short clip of her talking about that as well.
I finally feel like I have shaken off all of this darkness and this negativity, and that means I've closed one door and another door is opened, and I can feel it open, and I can feel all the possibilities, all the exciting possibilities. I feel like I have a lot more life to live.
Now in this one, people kept saying that her speech was slurred and she was struggling to speak. Someone said, I wonder if she relapsed. Somebody also said she's not sober here, and it's sad. I'm sorry that she's gone. She also seemed like she was crying, so I really don't know if this was her on drugs. I don't know. But of course they want to give us that narrative that she OD'd and she was back on some kind of drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, someone said on here, the timing is suspicious. She died on Sunday, just one day after Brian Hickerson, who was a documented history of violence against her, flew to LA to Greenville on Saturday. I'm not going to claim that he had anything to do with her death without evidence, but I do think the circumstances and timing raise legitimate questions. Statistically speaking, the number of women who die at the hands of a current or former abusive partner is frightening, so I don't think it's unreasonable to question the circumstances surrounding her death. Hey, it could be possible. It could be possible, man. I ain't mean to throw this at y'all sad stories, but that the whole timing of the Kingdom Hearts panel, and she wasn't there, celebrating the 25th anniversary, and then, the next day, we found out she passed away. She probably passed away on Saturday. And news reports came out and say she passed away on Sunday morning. I think she passed away on Saturday. Probably Friday. And they just now telling us, because how some news reports be, telling stuff that probably happened the day of when they announce it, but it really happened 3 days, maybe a week prior, but make it seem like it happened the day of. So you can't really believe what the news reports be telling y'all. But it's very unfortunate. I don't wish this on nobody, and she just seems like a sweet girl. that's been through a lot, and you know, I hate to hear stuff like this, you know, especially someone dies, you know, the innocent dies prematurely, you know, due to causes of someone or something. I believe it's both. Mostly someone has something to do with her death. You know, that's just my opinion. But yeah, let her rest. You know, and you know, you got all these, you know, people coming out, you know, that died mysteriously, saying it's suicide. Like the one guy that was hung in Raleigh, North Carolina. There wasn't no suicide. Someone did that to him. These racist devils did that to him. That's what I believe. You know. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of stuff, you know, like that, you know, on the news, and the whole Nolan Wells, you know, trial that's about to go on, and new information on that. Yeah, guys, especially black folks, we got to be on time of being diplomatic, because a lot of people that don't look like us is coming after us due to hatred and jealousy and not want you to be happy that you live in the way you live. You know what I mean? But yeah, I digress. See, and I was, you know, going back to that, you know, the lighter note, you know, Kingdom Hearts 4. Hate to have to like report, you know, sad news. I don't really like doing that, but you know, that's been stuck in my mind all day. I just had to, you know, express, you know, how I feel about the whole situation, about Hayden, and you know, stuff in that nature that can go on, you know, with certain people due to being part of the game, being part of the industry. And if you do something that doesn't align with the powers that be, they off you. And you know, that's why I feel like that would probably happen. But moving on to a lighter topic, back to Kingdom Hearts 4. About that panel, Tetsuya Nomura, he said it is coming out on late 2027. It's not going to be any delays or none of that. We don't got an official release date, but he said it's coming out late 2027. He said, I'm just like, Square, you say that now, but when the game delays 10 years from now, don't be mad when there's outrage. Okay? Don't be mad when you get backlash, because you said it on that panel that was coming out late 2027. And that's it. That's the end all be all. It's set in stone. It's coming. I guess they're trying to have that game come out before Sony puts a complete stop to the physical production. Which, you know, I already talked about that, you know, for the past month, about Sony, PlayStation, you know, ending physical disc. But yeah, like I said, I don't really like how it looks, man. Like, they should not have used Unreal Engine 5.6, man. Maybe graphically it will look better as we're getting near to having this game to come out. So I'm just gonna chill out on that note, because the game is still in progress. It's still a work in progress. So we'll see what happens, you know, when it comes out. We'll see if it looks more alive, like the character models and how they are. I don't want it to be a bland, one of those, Korean gotcha games that they be making. I don't want it to be generic, how Sora looks or, all the other Final Fantasy X characters. Well, I don't even think there's going to be any Final Fantasy cameos in this game, due to Disney's bullcrap. Because, Kingdom Hearts was supposed to be a crossover between the Final Fantasy aspect world and the Disney world. And then you have the, original characters like Sora in the mix. 3, I don't think there wasn't any. I don't remember anything from Kingdom Hearts 3. And I beat the game. And the DLC. I have to go back and play it or watch it on YouTube because I don't remember nothing. Really nothing I did in Kingdom Hearts 3. I gotta refresh my memory on that because it was like a blur when I beat it. But yeah, man. Want to move on to something else? So I was talking crap about Ernesto earlier. So I came across this, and I want to talk about this, and then I got some announcement today to make, and I'm going to wrap this up. So we got...
Starts right here with Ryan Hart. I guess he got some of the
this
goats
right
together,
here.
And he was like, hey, I want to know your rankings for the Street Fighter titles throughout the years, what you guys see, the best and the worst version of the game. So Ryan Hart posted this, saying, Daigo Takedo, Justin, and myself compare our favorite Street Fighter games. Enjoy. You see right here. Let's put it on the screen. Let me make this large right here.
I really don't like this list.
Super Turbo.
Let me stop it real quick. I really don't like this list. And plus, they don't even have Alpha 3 as part of this list. Because Alpha 3 is pretty much what really started modernizing, the competitive scene of Street Fighter. I mean, Battle of the Bay, was born because of Alpha 3. Daigo, Alex Valle, and they ain't have Alpha 3 at all on this list. They just got Super Turbo for Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 6, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4, and Third Strike. Let's go with Daigo's list, okay? Now, Ernesto, I'll let you tell it, Ernesto.
Street Fighter 6 is second. That's interesting. Street Fighter 5 as third. Street Fighter 4 as fourth, and Third Strike, his least favorite, and that's where the title comes from. That's where people is tripping like, wait a minute, Daigo, Third Strike? Mr. Moment 37?
No, you are tripping.
Least favorite?
You are tripping.
Let's continue on. You got Ryan Hart, Third Strike.
Listen, he probably didn't even know that, bro. He probably didn't even know. He just found out that Daigo's least favorite Street Fighter game is Third Strike. Daigo said it numerous times. There was a time where I saw Daigo. Well, this was one of the CEOs. Why witness? And everybody that was there watching that, Mago was trying to push Daigo to play Third Strike, and Daigo didn't really want to do it. That was like about a decade ago. And I saw that. I witnessed that. Daigo he can't stand Third Strike. He cannot stand. I really think he can't stand Third Strike because he couldn't beat the top players at that time when, Third Strike was hot over there in Japan. Like Nuki, KO, Mago, all those Japanese top players that was really about something, when it came down to fighting games. The whole Evo Moment 37, with him and Justin. Justin wasn't even on his radar. It was KO. Now, if he would have beat KO on that same Evo that, Evo 37 took place, between him and Justin, I think Daigo would have retired. What he did, and he came back in Street Fighter 4 when it was out, I think no, he played Guilty Gear X2 for a little bit as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I stand corrected. But Ernesto, like I said, what he was saying right there about Daigo having third strike as his least favorite just proves my point. Dude, you got to do your homework, man. You got to do your homework, man. But check, dude, please do your homework. But yeah, him having Street Fighter 6 at second, I think that's politics. Because, you know, a lot of people look up to Daigo and seeing that he's playing Street Fighter 6. Because if he had Street Fighter 6 like least favorite, I think everybody that looks up to him will probably drop it and play something else. That's probably what he's afraid of. Same with Tokido. He got Street Fighter 6 as his favorite. Of course, because you are competing in it now. You know, the most honest list on here is probably Justin's. Okay, Justin don't really compete like that anymore. He's mostly a commentary these days now. Him having third strike as his favorite, I do believe it. In Street Fighter 4 as second, I do believe that. I think Justin has the most honest, order when it comes down to these 5 Street Fighter games. But my thing is, the whole list is kind of whack because you don't have Alpha 3. I think this is Ryan Hart's idea about this. I think he's the one that started. He got third strike as his favorite, Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 6, third. Super Turbo, fourth. And Street Fighter 5, least favorite. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all mine. Okay, out of these 5. Alright, so favorite, I will say, favorite, I will say Super Turbo. Second favorite, Third Strike. Third, Street Fighter 6. Fourth, Street Fighter 4. And least favorite, Street Fighter 5. In that order. But, like I said, this list is bogus, man. They don't even have Alpha 3. They don't have EX. That'll be a totally different story. They put all that in there. You know what I'm saying? Because I played a ton of Street Fighter EX. You know, and Street Fighter Alpha series, bro. But, yeah.
He got 4, he got 6, he got Turbo, and then he got 5 as the least favorite. So Ryan and Justin both picked Third Strike as their first. I would see that for both of them. And then 4. Honestly, I thought Daigo would have chose 4. I thought he would have chose 4 for his favorite, or at least
he don't even like Street Fighter 4 either.
Continuing on,
he don't really like 4 like that.
Third, 5 as his fourth.
Like he said on his streams,
with the keto,
he don't really like Street Fighter games that has a lot of options. Like I'm paraphrasing. I know that's probably not exactly what he said. It's one of those things about options, you know. But Street Fighter 6 over Street Fighter, 4 though. Daigo don't really like Street Fighter 6 like that. If anything, Street Fighter 6 will probably be 4th if you want to be real. I think he likes Street Fighter 5 more than 6. You know, because if that was the case, Daigo would beat the cheater Mena RD at an exhibition. Because it's like when he plays Street Fighter 6, it's like he don't really care. It's like he don't. It's like whatever. It's like a chore to him. You know what I mean? But he also teaching the young bloods, how to play Street Fighter. So that's a good, way to do things too. Tokido, like he showed he had heart. Tokido is 41 years old. And he has more heart than these young cats out here that's playing video games today. That's not good. Like, the younger cat's supposed to have more heart than the predecessor. And in this case, Tokido is a predecessor, you know what I'm saying, to all the young guys out there that wants to compete or want to play, you know, fighting games competitively. You supposed to have more heart and drive than your predecessor and be better than your predecessor. But in the FGC, that's not the case. Like, Japan fighting game community is going through that too. Not as bad as America, but Japan is going through that individualism crap too. But yeah, let's ride out.
Takedo was the only one to pick Street Fighter 6 as his favorite.
Because he's competing.
Is that surprising? I think that's surprising because I don't know. I'm just under the impression that none of the OGs think Street Fighter 6 is their favorite. I think we all could agree, or they all would agree.
It's all politics, man.
It's hella successful, but
he don't want, you know, the young cats drop the game. That's all that is.
I didn't think anybody would think that, but Takedo thinks different. Takedo talking about 6 is the
this
favorite.
list is
then 4,
disingenuous.
that's what's up. Then 5, Third Strike, Turbo is
like I said
okay.
before. I'm about to wrap this up. Justin got the most honest list out of all 5 of the players. He got the most honest list. I believe Justin's more than anybody else's list when it comes down to those Street Fighter games. But yeah, I'm about to wrap this up. I want to let y'all know we are back in schedule. The Fighting Game Roulette 2026 is continuing. Tomorrow I was supposed to play Marvel Tokon. I was supposed to did that when it first came out, but my internet was being trashed. And, you know, plus, you know, I had to go on vacation, you know, during that. So, but yeah, we back in business. New internet, new streams. We'll be continuing the Fighting Game Roulette tomorrow. Might do a tour deck since I didn't stream last week or not really the week before that. And so we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do it. We're gonna put some chicken nuggets with some hot sauce and some combos and see what's in this box here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see. But yeah, we're gonna start it right tomorrow. Be here around the same time. Yeah, and that's all, folks. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm your host, Master Boris, and I'm out. Peace.